Hi, get ready to dive into a spine-chilling horror story.
Name of the tale, The Pendant Secrecy. It was the last but second row in the classroom. Two boys, Raghav and Rajesh, were planning to go on an adventure into the woods behind their hostel. They had been good friends since 6th grade. Raghav and Rajesh were now studying in the 11th grade in a reputed residential school. The school had a sprawling area of around 30 acres located at the foot of a hill. They were eager to explore the forest. Late into the night, Raghav and Rajesh waited for the right moment to sneak out without being noticed by their warden. Raghav carried a bag with essential trekking supplies. Guided by a torch, they made their way through the trees between their hostel and the compound. Standing at the edge of the compound, they exchanged glances and nodded. Silently jumped over the perimeter. As they ventured into the woods, maneuvering through the dense trees, they came across a dry canal. They decided to explore it as they moved forward. As they into deep woods, their attention was caught by a shimmering light in the dark woods. Rajesh felt a sense of terror and wanted to turn back, but Raghav, driven by curiosity, wanted to investigate the source of the light. Their whispered argument carried through the stillness of the woods. Eventually, Raghav convinced Rajesh to accompany him. Rajesh was trembling with fear. With each step, Rajesh's fear grew while Raghav's curiosity intensified. They drew closer to the light. Raghav kneeled down, reaching out towards the source. He held Rajesh's hand, and in another hand, as he made contact with the source of light, a chill ran through both of them, sending shivers down their spines. The glow from the object ceased, leaving them in darkness, except for the ethereal glow of the moonlight upon them. Frozen in the heart of the woods, Raghav and Rajesh held each other's hands, still reluctant to examine the object they had discovered. Slowly, Raghav lifted his hand, revealing a locket resting in his palm. The locket was adorned with delicate engravings, crafted from polished metal, and emitted a mesmerizing glow as the moonlight caressed its surface. Raghav and Rajesh examined the enigmatic locket, unsure of what to do with it or why it had glowed before they touched it. They felt a mixture of fear and curiosity but decided to return the locket to its original position, exactly as they had found it. Thoughts of the locket lingered in their minds as they retraced their steps, eventually returning to their room and settling into bed, though the lateness of the hour weighed heavily on their minds. It was lunchtime, and Raghav couldn't eat anything. He left the dining hall early, making his way towards their classroom. As he approached, he noticed the staff room next to their classroom. From where he was walking, he could see inside through the window. Uncertain of what he was seeing, he continued a few steps further and witnessed a shocking sight. A teacher was attempting to stand on a table, causing Raghav to be startled. He immediately started running as fast as he could. As he got closer, the situation became clearer. The faculty member who had been trying to get on the table was now standing on it, attempting to tie something to the fan. Despite his fastest efforts, Raghav doubted he would reach in time. As he drew nearer, the disturbing truth became apparent: the faculty member was trying to hang herself. As he raced towards the room, he realized he wouldn't make it in time. What he witnessed was utterly horrifying. Despite screaming with all his might, screaming to stop her, he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Terrified with each step he took towards the room, his screams seemed to have no effect. The person in the room ceased moving. Tears streamed down his face, evaporating in the air as they fell behind him. Raghav stopped screaming and continued running as fast as he could, holding on to a glimmer of hope. To enter the room, he had to pass through the gate. At that moment, he couldn't see the window of the staff room. He rushed down the corridor towards the room, the sound of his own footsteps echoing against the walls. Panting, he stood before the room, trembling in fear. Frozen at the sight, he could only take a step back. He saw himself standing inside the room, clutching the locket in his hand. It was the same locket they had seen in the woods yesterday. He began to scream, but he couldn't hear his own voice. Awakening suddenly, Raghav opened his eyes to the darkness of his room. He sat up, drenched in sweat, the sheets clinging to his body. Terrified by the intensity of his dream, he reached for his water bottle, taking a few sips to calm his racing heart. Flicking on the fan, he stepped out onto the balcony, seeking solace in the cool night air. To his surprise, he found his friend Rajesh standing there,